All right, guys, we are going into solving systems of equations. Now, the last class lesson that we did writing systems of equations. Yes, you were writing systems. That's what the class was when I wasn't here, okay? Writing systems of equation where we're looking for the point where they what? Do you guys remember what systems were? What makes a solution of a group of equations? Where they what? Where they cross. I'm looking for the one point where they cross. Now, today, instead of just writing the systems of equations, which is what we did before, I'm actually going to show you how to solve them. Now, there are 3 different ways to solve systems of equations. So over the next 3 class periods, I'm going to show you all 3 of them, okay? Today, we're going to start with combination, okay, which you've already grabbed one, so let me get my clicker, sorry. We've already had one, which is just writing them, okay? We haven't really practiced solving them or anything like that, but we're going to do that today. Today, we're going to solve by systems by combination / elimination. This, I think, is one of the easiest ones, okay? My favorite is substitution. We'll get to that later. And then the third one is just graphing. If you can graph the equations, like when you have Desmos, right? If you graph the equations and you can figure out what point they cross, that's your solution, okay? Very, very simple. So today, we're going to do solving system by combination / elimination. And I'm going to show you how this works, okay? This is not overly complex, but there are a few things that we need to cover, okay? So please pay close attention. This is one of those lessons that there's not really a step to it. I just have to show you. Fair? I just have to show you. There's not really, hey, you got to do it this way. All right, so here we go. Maybe. Let me get my clicker to work. There we go. Opposites, case number 1. We're going to go, I think, through like 3 or 4 cases, okay? Case number 1 is opposites. You guys have your worksheet with you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these problems. If you notice, these things are already stacked, right? Do you notice anything that are opposites right near? You have a 4x and a 1x. Are those opposites? No. I have a negative 3y and a positive 3y. Are those opposites? Yes, those are opposites. I have a positive 3y. I have a negative 3y. So here's what you do when you're talking about elimination or combination. I'm going to take these 2 equations and I'm going to add them together. Always add them. You guys with me? Now watch what happens. This is actually very, very simple. Okay? What is 4x plus 1x? 5x. Okay? We're good here. That takes care of that. Now what if I add negative 3y and a positive 3y? It'd be 0. So basically what just happened to my y's? They canceled out. Yes? Okay, so what is negative 26 plus 1? Negative 25. Can I solve this little one-step equation? What does 5x mean? 5 what? 5 what? How do I solve this, guys? If I just told you to solve this, 5x equals negative 25, how would I solve that? I would divide by 5. Okay, so the same thing over here. I'm going to divide by 5, divide by 5, yes? So what does x equal? Negative 5. Okay, so we've got the x. What do we need to find now? The y, because we have one of the numbers. Now we've got to get a second number, correct? Now, this is where I think it's actually kind of fun. You get to pick what you do from here on out, okay? So I have x equals negative 5. So my x is negative 5. Now I've got to find the y. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these equations. It does not matter. Remember, we're trying to find the point that works in both equations. Yes? The point that works in both equations. So you get to pick which one do you think looks easier? The first one or the second one? The first one looks easier to you? I mean, we can. I think the second one looks a little bit easier, okay? If you want to, I'll show it to you either way. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take this first equation. I'm going to rewrite it over here. You guys with me? X plus 3y equals 1. Now, the reason I'm rewriting it is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in. What do we need to solve for? Y. Okay, so now I'm going to plug in for x because I know what x equals. What does x equal? Negative 5. So in place of the x, I'm going to put a negative 5. Does that, you guys kind of like, okay, I get it now. Plus 3y equals 1. What's the only letter you see in that problem now? So we're going to solve for y. We're going to be able to figure out y now. Solve that. That's a little 2-step equation, right? So what do I do now? Negative 5 becomes, I'm going to add 5 to both sides, right, to cancel it. What's 1 plus 5? So I've got 3y equals 6. We divide by 3. We divide by 3. Y equals what? There's my point. 2. Done. X, Y. It does not matter which equation you pick, okay? Do you want me to show you that I can work the other problem? Can I do it really, really quick? Just to show it to you? Okay. Please don't feel like you have to write this down. I'm just going to show it to you. If you want to, you can go back and watch again, okay? But I'm going to plug it in really quick to the other equation just to show you. You should get the same answer. You got 4x minus 3y, equals negative 26, right? What is x? What is x? Negative 5. So I'm going to go 4 times negative 5. Yes? Minus 3y equals negative 26. What's 4 times negative 5? Negative 20. So when I move it, negative 20 becomes a positive 20. So now I've got negative 3y equals, that's negative 6, right? Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Two negatives make a positive 2. So it doesn't matter which equation you choose. I just try to find the one that looks the easiest, okay? Everybody with me on that? And you're like, okay, I can do this, okay? Pretty simple, right? All right, let's look at the second one. Do you guys see opposites on this one?
Yes.
What are they? Negative 2x and positive 2x. So what's going to cancel? What letter is going to cancel initially? The x's are going to cancel, okay? Which means I can solve for what? Y. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you guys start this problem. Go. I'm going to pause it real quick. All right, here we go. What cancels out? The x's do, right? So what's 3y plus 1y? 4y equals what? 20. This pen is not going to make it. Okay, let's see if blue will work. So I divide by 4. What's y equal? Y equals 5. Okay, so we figured out y. Listen, there's no rule that says you have to solve x first or you have to solve y first. There's no rule that says you have to solve one letter before the other one. Just whatever works out the best. Okay, this is what I like about systems of equation. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Okay, and here in a little while, I'm going to show you really what you can do. You can do a whole lot of stuff to these equations to make it work for you. Okay, now, which equation looks easiest? The first one or the second one? The second one. So I'm going to plug in the second one. So here we go. I've got 2x plus y. What is y? 5 equals 3. I basically just substituted y for 5. Now it's just a little two-step equation. Minus 5, minus 5. So I've got 2x equals negative 2, right? That's an x. We divide by 2. We divide by 2. What does x equal? Negative 1. Boom. Negative 1, positive 5. How many of you are like, how many of you kind of feel like you have an understanding of this? You're like, okay, not too hard, right? So let me ask you this. What do you think happens when the numbers don't cancel out immediately? Okay. Kind of like our next case. Everybody good? We're okay when they give you like this. This is like, okay, they're lined up perfect. I got opposites. Life is great. Yes? Check this out. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. Click. Oh, I forgot I clicked on the screen, off the screen. All right, here we go. Twins. All right. Now, does anything cancel? Look at it. Do you see anything up there that are opposites? No, but things match, right? Now, can you manipulate equations? Now, hold on. Go back. Remember early in the year when we were solving equations, and I told you that you can do anything you want to an equation as long as you do it to what? Both sides. That's exactly right. I can multiply equations times 1,000 if I want to. As long as I do it to both sides, the equation stays balanced. Does that make sense? So watch. What do we need to cancel out equations? What do we need? We need opposites, yes? We need a positive number and a negative number of the same thing, kind of like we had earlier, positive 3 or positive 2x, negative 2x. They canceled out. 3y, negative 3y. We need the signs to be opposites. Right now, they're not opposites. Can I multiply? Can I do anything to one of these equations to make them opposite? Somebody say yes. Yes, you can. I could take either one of these equations. It does not matter which. Does it matter which one? No, it does not matter which one. And I can change it to whatever I want to make it fit whatever I'm trying to do. Right? Now, what looks like it's close to matching right now? The x's are close. Yes? So, what do you want to choose? The first equation or the second equation? Pick one. Yep. Sure, let's take the first one. So she chose the first one. I'm not going to say names just because it's going to be on YouTube, okay? But if she chose the first equation, I can take this first equation, and if I just need to change the sign of that x, what do I multiply by? Any guesses? Say it.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Listen, multiplying by -1 just changes the signs, doesn't it? It's kind of like when you divided by -1 when we were solving equations. You guys remember that? Multiplying by -1 will just change the signs. Watch this. I would have chose the bottom one, but that's okay. 100%, you can do whatever you want. So watch what happens. I'm going to multiply, I'm going to distribute, I'm going to multiply everything times -1. Everybody good? A positive x now becomes a what? Negative x. And I'm putting my new equation down here, by the way, just so that you can see it. A positive 4y is now going to be a what? Negative 4y. A -6 is now going to be a what? Positive 6. Now I can work. Now, hold on, look at these two equations. Forget about this one. Do I have opposites now? Sure do. Now I can work. Are you guys like, okay? I see a lot of nodding. You're like, okay, I can do this. All right. What cancels? X or Y? X. What is 1? This is 1y. What is 1 minus 4? What's 1 minus 4, guys? -3y. And then what is 3 plus 6? 9. Now I just solved that little one-step equation. -3, -3. Y equals what? -3. There's my y. Is everybody okay? Mm-hmm. Now, when you do this, you have one equation, two equations, three equations, right? Now you get to pick any of the three because you got three different equations up there that should work, okay? I'm going to choose this one right here. You see how easy it is? I got an x, I got a y. I can just plug in a number real easy, correct? So I'm going to rewrite this equation over here. X plus y equals 3. Yes? What did we solve for?
Y.
What is y?
-3.
Perfect. So I'm going to put in -3 right here. So x minus 3 equals 3. I just plugged in. We solved for y. You told me that y is -3, so I'll put a -3 in place for y. Okay. If you want to put x plus -3, it's the same thing because to get rid of a -3, what am I going to have to do? Add 3. What's 3 plus 3 over there?
6.
X equals 6. There's my point. 6, -3, because x, y. You can manipulate equations to cancel out whatever you need them to cancel. You can multiply it times 50 if you want to. Okay? Everybody semi-okay with this? Now, I'm not going to work all the way through this next problem just for the sake of time. Okay? But I want you to just kind of start it out and see what you would do. Fair? Let's do this one. Go. On your own paper, let's see if we can do this. First of all, what do you notice that almost matches? The y's. I've got a 3y and a 3y. They're both negative. So what do I need one of them to be to cancel? I need what? I need one of them to be positive. So how do I change the signs? I multiply the equation by what?
1.
-1. To change the signs, you have to multiply it times negative. Anytime you want to change the signs, listen, when you multiply by a negative, your signs change. If you don't want to change the numbers, multiply times 1. Okay, but anytime you multiply by a negative, your signs are going to flip. If you divide by a negative, your signs are going to flip. Okay? I'm not going to ask you to work all the way through this, okay? But if I multiply, let me just, how about this one? Everybody with me? Yes? I'm just going to do the bottom one just for the heck of it. So now this is -2x. Now that's positive 3y. And now it's -11. And then you got to be careful to avoid this, by the way, because that's the equation we changed. What's 5 minus 2? What's 5 minus 2, guys? 3x. The y's cancel now. And then you got what's 32 minus 11? 21. 3 times what is 21? 3 times what is 21, yes? What's 21 divided by 3?
-7.
Nope, this one's positive. This one's going to be positive. Where'd you mess up?
7.
You got, is it just 7? Does everybody semi-understand this? Are we okay with this? What do you multiply by to change the equation? -1. That's if you don't want to change the numbers. So what if I need to change the numbers? Okay, so now we're going to case number 3. We're going to multiply one equation by a constant to make a pair of opposites, okay? Now, didn't I just tell you a minute ago that you can multiply an equation times anything you want to manipulate it into canceling, right? You can manipulate an equation. Guys, focus for me. If you multiply an equation times anything, if you multiply one side times anything, what do you have to do? You have to do it to the other side. If you do it to both sides, you're still going to be okay. Even if it's wrong, even if you do it incorrectly, if you multiply times the wrong number, as long as you do it on both sides, you can still get back to the right answer. Okay? I almost kicked my coffee everywhere. That would have been really awful. All right, here we go. Case number 3. You got 4x plus 3y equals 7. And then I've got 2x minus 9y equals 35. Now, here's what I like. I very easily could cancel out the x's. Would you agree? I could make this, I promise you, I can make that a negative 4x. How do I make a 2 a negative 4? Times negative 2. I can multiply the entire equation times negative 2, and that would cancel that out. Or I can multiply the top equation by 3, and then what would cancel? The y's, because that would be a positive 9y and a negative 9y. So it doesn't really matter. Listen, it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you do it to both sides, you're still going to be okay. It doesn't matter if you want to solve for x first or you want to solve for y first. It is 100% up to you. There's not a right or wrong way to do this. Did everybody catch that? There's not a right or wrong way to do this. Okay? I want you to pick one for me. I'm not going to say your name like always, but pick a letter. What do you want to cancel, the x or the y? Let's cancel the y, okay? So I've got a negative 9y and a positive 3y. So what number can I make them match easily? Do they have a lowest common multiple? What is it? Can I make this? Hold on. Always check with the biggest number, okay? So look at the small. Can I make the 3 and 9 really quick? Can I do that? Yes. What I'm going to do is I always look at the bigger number, and I go back to the smaller one and see if I can make it that number. If I can't, then I have to start working, okay? But since I can make a 3 and 9 really, really easily, I'm just going to do that. And are the signs already opposite? Listen, are the signs opposite? I have a positive and a negative. So do I need to change any signs? So don't multiply times a negative. Don't multiply times a negative unless you need to change the sign. I see some nodding. Everybody, if you don't need to change the sign, don't multiply by a negative. All right, here we go. So I'm going to multiply times 3. What's 4 times 3? 12x. Remember, you got to do it to the entire equation, right? What's 3 times 3? Positive 9y. Yes, there's the opposites. Correct? And then what's 3 times 7? 21. So now I can do the math. What's 2 plus 12? 14 what? 14x. The y's cancel. What's 35 plus 21? Calculator, if you need it. 56. And then I'm just going to divide by 14. Yes? 14. X equals, what'd you get? 4. There's my x number, 4. Now I got to solve for what? Y. All right, let's do something really, really quick. Do you want to pick equation 1, equation 2, equation 3? So pick one. Pick one. 1, 2, or 3? 2? Let's go equation number 2. 2x minus 9y equals 35. What did I solve for already, guys? So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to plug in for x. X is what number? 4. Now this will be my chicken scratch, by the way. What's 2 times 4? 8. And then I move it over. It becomes a negative 8 over here. Yes? This is how I would do it, like once I start getting the hang of it. Okay? I bring down the negative 9y. What's 35 minus 8? 27. And then I divide by what? Negative 9, negative 9. Y equals negative 3. Are you starting to see how this works? You can manipulate equations. Manipulate equations. Close your Chromebook, please. Okay? Now, one last thing I want to show you. Is everybody okay on this? Kind of, sort of? Show me 1 to 5. And be honest. And be honest. Okay? If you're a little bit confused, maybe hold off on the food for a little while. All right, here we go. This one. Which one would be an easy? We're just going to talk through this. Look at it. Which one's easiest? No, X or Y?
Probably X.
Look at it. The X, What can I make the x's both be?
Next 6.
I can make them both 6, but the top one I need to, if I'm going to multiply the top equation, I'm going to multiply it times a what? -3, because I need the signs to change. Because what are they right now? Hold on. What are they right now, guys? Positive and what? Say it. Positive. So I need to change the signs, because if I'm going to cancel out a positive, what do I need the other one to be? A negative. So I would have to multiply the top one times -3. Everybody good? So just on your notes, if you want to, you can work on it later. I'm not going to go through this one, but -3. That would make that a -6x, and now they would cancel. Yes? Okay, let me write it down just so you can see it. I'm not going to solve this all the way through. -6x, positive 9y. What's 3 times 0? Still 0. Still 0. And we just solve it out like we have been. Okay, now the x's cancel. Everybody good? Yes, sir.
Would it be -6x plus 9y?
Nope. Oh, thank you. -9y. My fault. Thank you for catching my mistake. It is -9y. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was not intentional. That was a mistake on my part. Good. Good catch. Thank you. That was a really good catch. And it's on video. Okay, good. All right, we ready? Case number 4. Now we're going to multiply both equations. What was that look for? That was funny. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, brainstorming a little bit. Now, hold on. Let's look at the x's. Can I make the 2 a 7 pretty easily? I'm looking at the smaller number, look at the bigger number. Can I make the 2 a 7? No. Can I make the 5 a 6? So now we've got to do some thinking. What, just brainstorming. If I need to, I can write this out, but let's talk through this. I kind of do these in my head. What can I make the 7 and the 2 really easily? Say it. I can make them both 14s, okay? So I can maybe make them 14s. What can I make the 6 and the 5? 30. If you don't know, just multiply the 2 numbers together. It will always work. Always. Okay, if you don't know, you can just multiply them together. It doesn't have to be the smallest one. They just have to match. You guys with me? Now, the reason you don't have to do it that way, I'm just showing you really, really quick. Would it be easier for you guys to make the x's a 14 or make the y's a 30? Which one would you rather do? You want to do, I hear a lot of people saying that make the x's 14s, yes? But I need one of them to be net. Right now, they're both what? Positive. I'm going to need what? I'm going to need one of them to be negative. Does it matter which one? No. That's what, have you guys figured this out yet? It doesn't really matter which steps you want to take to do this. You can pick what letter, which one you make negative, which one, however you want to do this. It is 100% up to you. Go ahead. As long as you do the math correctly, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine, okay? So you want to make the top one a negative or the bottom one? Cool, let's make the top one a negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the sign of the top one. I'm going back to the black one. The black marker is just a lot better. All right, I'm going to change the sign of the top one. So I'm going to multiply. How do you make a 7 a 14? Multiply times what? Times 2. But I want to change the sign. So what do I need to include? A negative. Thank you. You guys are it's starting to click. Okay, so let's do it. Since I'm changing both of them, I'm going to write the equations over here. What is negative 2 times 7? Negative 14x. What is negative 2 times negative 6? Nope. Positive 12 what? Y. And then you got negative 2 times 10. Remember, the negative changes all the signs. So 10 now becomes a what? Negative 20. Stay focused, guys. I'm just about done. Stay focused. I'm just about finished. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, we want to make the bottom one a 14. Yes? So how to multiply 2 times what? 7. Watch what happens. What's 7 times 2? 14x. Hold on. Look at these. Opposites. Now they're going to cancel. Okay? What's 7 times 5? Now, don't stop there. Remember, if you do something to one part of an equation, what is it? What's the rule? You got to do it to the entire equation. Okay? So, because if you stop and you don't finish the equation, you have now changed the equation. Don't do that. Okay? All right. So what's 7 times 5? Positive 35y. And then what's 7 times 23? Calculator. Is it? 161. Cool. Let's do the math. Yeah, you get some decent numbers, but you have a calculator. It's fine. Math numbers get big in high school, okay? Just trust the process. The x's cancel. Yes? What is 12 plus 35? 47 what? Because I want to know. Okay. And then what is 160? What is negative 12 or negative 20 plus 161? 141. And then I'm just going to divide by 47. I'm guessing it's 3. Y equals what? Is it 3? Okay. Y equals 3. There's my Y. Now, how many different equations do I have up there now? Yeah, say it. You have 4 equations. You could pick any of those 4 equations. So what I want you to do, find the one that you think is easiest, okay? You have equation 1, you have equation 2, you have equation 3, and you have equation 4. I'm going to let you pick which one you want. Tell me. Equation number 2? Cool, let's go equation number 2. That's what she said. 2x plus 5y equals 23. That's probably the one I would have chose because everything is what? Everything's positive and the numbers are small. That's what I would have chosen. What is y? So what am I going to plug in? For what letter? For y. And now we just solve it. What's 5 times 3? Positive 15. Move the 15 becomes a what? Negative 2x equals 8. Divide by 2. I go through that part kind of quick because that's just solving equations because we've done that I don't know how many times. So what is x?
4.
There's my answer. 4, 3. Listen, there's only one thing in this problem that has changed what we've been doing. What's the only thing that's new? What is really the only thing that we've done today that is real? I know if you look at this board, it seems like a lot, correct? It does seem like a lot. I get that 100%. But what's new? I want you to have this mindset. There's one thing that we haven't really done that today is new. What is it? The beginning part? Okay. I think manipulating equations to match them however we want them. No, you're good. I like that you're thinking. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's not really a right or wrong answer, but I think the only thing that's really been new is us manipulating equations to what we want it to be. Does that make sense? That's the only thing that has really changed. Look, have we combined like terms before? This is a what? What is that? That's a one-step equation, correct? Substitution. We've done this. We've solved it. What is this? Hold on. What is this? That's a 2-step equation. What is this? It's a 1-step equation. Remember, I've told you guys that you've got to remember what we're doing at the beginning of the year to keep going. I told you we're going to keep coming back to it. It doesn't change. The math does not change. We're just adding one little hiccup, and all it is just canceling out. Okay? Everybody good? Okay. I'm going to give you guys a small break, and then we're going to get some practice on this. Okay? Cool? I know that was a long one. Yes, question. What's 7? Because we chose for these to turn into what? 14, yes? So if I want to make the 2 a 14, I got to multiply it times 7. That's what we decided it was. And if you don't know, hold on, guys. Hey, hang on, guys. Hang on. Let me answer the question. I've still got the video going. Okay? If you don't know, you could take these 2 numbers right here and multiply it times that same number. Like I've got a 2 and a 7. So I could flip it and multiply it times the other one. If you don't know, that will always work. Okay? Everybody good? Yes, sir.
So I'm guessing we're not focusing on like the word problems.
Not today. Not today. We will get to the word problems another time. I think we've already kind of touched on enough. Okay, I think that's enough information. Cool? Cool, guys. Thanks.